My name is Dr. Erin Denil with Rejuvenate Life Chiropractic. If you find my videos helpful, please like, share, subscribe, go to rejuvenatelifechiro.com. I have lots of things there as well. Search through the rest of my different videos. Today I want to talk about nutrition labels as it relates to checking ingredients from product to product. Everything here I just found on Jif's website. There is no bias or standard against Jif in any stretch of the imagination. I am merely giving examples of how to read a product, and I wanted to stay within the same product line just to give an example of the differences that vary even in the recipe from company to company based on what type of peanut butter they're marketing. So why did I choose peanut butter? It's a common thing that people have in their household. I figured everybody could go grab their own jar of peanut butter. I personally don't eat peanut butter. My kids do. The brand that are not brand, but the style that they particularly like is the Jif Natural. It still has sugar in it. There are many times we have to make choices. So in order to feel somewhat in a normal realm for my children, they do have some level of sugar in their diet, though we're working on it. And it is easier for me to give them something that at least doesn't have the real things in it that I object to. And I forego sometimes the sugar. In order to do that, the Jif No Sugar Added literally has peanuts, palm oil, and contains 2% or less of salt. In this particular case, this would be a better option, or no peanuts would be a good option too, but if people are eating peanuts, this would be the least, would be the best option health-wise. However, sometimes for taste, people are like, well, if I'm not even gonna have peanut butter, it doesn't taste like peanut butter, I don't wanna eat it anyway. So up to the person who's making the decisions for what's going into the mouth. Okay, so Simply Jif is our decreased sodium, or Na+. We have an omega-3 that's gonna increase our omega-3s in the diet, which if you've heard omega-3 versus omega-6, the Mediterranean diet is high in the omega-3s. It just is a healthier type of fat that we're usually missing. We need both, but the ratio should be slightly higher when it comes to the omega-3. Our reduced fat, so we're gonna try to decrease the fat content in peanuts. Peanuts have a lot of fat in them naturally. We're gonna see increased other things like other different styles of ingredients. Our Jif Natural is usually going to be a simple ingredient list. Anytime that you're going to see natural, maybe they know that hydrogenated oils wouldn't be a good idea to put in there. Still look at the label because it can be misleading. Our no sugar added, again, I just talked about, and just the original Jif. Now, in this one, and this one, and this one, and this one, they all will have, contains 2% or less of molasses, fully hydrogenated vegetable oils, rapeseed and soybean, mono and diglycerides, and salt. So all of them contain those types of things, okay, in their ingredient list. Here, we just had palm oil and peanuts and salt. Here, we had the added bit of sugar and molasses, okay, and salt. As we decreased our sodium, we had to increase something else. In this case, this one decreased sugar than the regular peanut butter. It was a low sodium version. It has the normal, original Jif had 3 grams of sugar versus 2 grams of sugar. However, there's usually some place that we will see an ad that will be different. In this case, there's a few more calories. So compared to just the normal, I don't know, they must have, I don't know exactly what they did because the ingredients are very similar, just the concentration of the ingredient varied in this specific case. When we have the omega, then we are going to see that it has anchovy and sardine oil, tilapia, gelatin, tocopherols, and citric acid. Tocopherols are vitamin E, and citric acid is a version of vitamin C, usually a lab-made one. This one will also have the fish. Still has the same amount of protein across the board. They all do. but it's just adding some DHA and EPA into the peanut butter, but we're still getting the fully hydrogenated and fully hydrogenated vegetable oils. Rapeseed oil, as I said in the last video, is very heart damaging. And then they usually put it as canola oil to make it less heart damaging because they take out the uric acid that's in it. I may be mispronouncing that, but you get the idea. There is a component in it that's very heart unhealthy. So rapeseed oil is used to make canola. These are high inflammatory. So even though we're increasing our EPA and DHA, which are good, healthy fish oils that our brain needs, we are then putting pro-inflammatory food along with it, or not really even food, lack thereof, man-made chemicals, okay? When we see the reduced fat, we actually had a little bit more of the magnesium oxides, diglycerides, mono and diglycerides, orthophosphate, zinc oxide, copper sulfate, pyridoxine hydrochloride, folic acid. So they added a few more under the nutrient category of our nutrition facts label. There's a few more in our reduced fat. This one had added corn syrup where none of the other ones did. They just had sugar. When I said in order to reduce fat, they increase our sugar content, it is still true. Okay, and this is one example of what I was talking about in my previous video that is accurate. If we reduce the fat, we increase sugar. That was in my low fat, no fat craze. We literally have to increase the sugar content. They are all advertised as gluten-free, no artificial preservatives, kosher. Some of them say non-GMO, which is the natural and the original, and the no sugar added, which is just the plain peanuts, palm oil, and 2% of salt. Non-GMO. The omega is not a non-GMO label. I would have to see if the reason for that would be because there is fish in it, and the fish maybe are not something that can be non-GMO certified. I don't know, that one I will have to look up. But lots of options in peanut butters. My personal options if peanut butter is going to be something consumed is the no sugar added or the Jif Natural because of the palm oil versus the hydrogenated oils, and then sugar versus the reduced fat, adding the corn sugar or corn syrup solids. We may also see high fructose corn syrup, which is a very, very high density amount of a sweetening agent. So high fructose corn syrup, I would rather see sugar or sucrose listed. Something to keep in mind, and I talked about this briefly, is just that sucralose does not equal sucrose. Sucrose is table sugar, okay, glucose and fructose, and sucralose is aspartame. They hide this in many foods that are reduced fat and reduced sugar. There tends to be, there's not in this, but there tends to be sucralose as an ingredient in a lot of our protein drinks, protein powders, amino acid powders, muscle building stuff, because the weightlifters are concerned with calories and sugar content. They will sneak sucralose in, so that is a warning on a label. Sucralose is one of the most snuck in ingredients that I see, along with hydrogenated and partially hydrogenated oils. When we look strictly at our nutrition fact label, we don't see it. It's listed as 0 grams. So I know to look for the hydrogenated or the partially hydrogenated oil on the label, and that helps me. But I would highly recommend looking for those things on labels. You'll take that and the red dyes and the yellow dyes and all of that stuff. Our body doesn't know how to process these things. So for me, I would say if I had to give like a little mini list, my mini list of things, I would say look for the sucralose, look for the hydrogenated and partially hydrogenated oils, or partially hydrogenated. That would be another to look for. I would look for my red number 40s and my yellow, whatever they are. Okay. I look for high fructose corn syrup. spelled that wrong, syrup. So don't mind my spelling, it's right here. I could look at it, S-Y-R-U-P. Nope, I spelled it correctly. Okay, high fructose corn syrup. These are the things that I stay far away from. I also don't do sugar, so sugar for me is a no. So in general, I don't like my kids to have a lot of this. I don't like them to have a lot of this. I don't like them to have any of those if I can help it. And this is like a never. If it has sucralose in it, I buy a gum that's pure PUR. That has a different type of sweetening agent in it instead of sucralose, and still sugar-free. So if you look for kind of keto gum, I looked up keto gum on Amazon to get that, even though I really only chew gum at meals because it triggers all your digestion, so it's not good to be triggering your digestive juices when you're not eating. But I chew gum around meals typically, although I do use it to stay awake in the car if I've got long distances to go, or if I'm busy editing a book and I'm trying to stay awake and alert on what I'm doing. So I hope this was helpful as far as reading labels. The ingredient side is going to give you a better idea because of how they label it on the nutrition facts. They can sneak crazy stuff in. It's better to look at the label. The other thing that I can also talk about is this natural flavors, and that'll be a topic for, hopefully a topic for another time, because the natural flavors is listed a lot. Okay, it's better than like an artificial flavor because they will say that. So that would be one I would stay away from as well, as if it says artificial flavors or colors. Artificial flavors or colors. All these things I would stay away from. That would be high on my list as well. So keep in mind in sports drinks and things like that too. Okay, because sucralose is in a lot of the 0-calorie sports drinks for kids. So stay away from that sucralose. It's not good stuff. So again, if this was helpful, like, share, subscribe, go to rejuvenatelifechiro.com. If you have questions, put it in the comments. And again, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.